Hey, what's going on? I am Tactical Pikachu, and this is the first footage that I was able to get of Season 3 of Rainbow Six Siege. I'm so happy it's finally here. Finally. We've been waiting for such a long time. What we're doing today is just going over my first impressions slash my first gameplay with each of the new operators. I recorded it really early, so I know it's not the best. I also haven't played Siege in about a week, so my aim is off and all this stuff. So I apologize for any potato gameplay ahead of time. But we're really just going over my first impressions of each operator, what I think they bring to the table, and then just my thoughts on how they're going to be played and things like that. So we're starting with Lesion because I think, honestly, out of everyone, he probably is my favorite operator. And that's looking at him from a gadget standpoint, a kit standpoint, and his armor and speed. He has a 2 speed, 2 armor, which makes him a little stronger, puts him basically on par with the SAS. It makes him a little stronger than the faster operators like Jaeger, but also just a tiny bit slower. It's not a huge noticeable difference with him, and honestly, just from like field testing him with field work, he really doesn't feel slow. You're not going to notice a whole lot of slow movement from him. His gadget is the goo mine, which basically you're able to place one every 35 seconds, or at least you make one every 35 seconds. You can place them whenever you want to. And that goo mine basically stops your opponent from running, deals 10 points of damage, and then every couple of seconds after that, it deals 5 more points of damage until they take it out. He plays a very significant role in, at least in my opinion, plays a nice role in locking down an objective and making a push go a little bit slower. You can see that where I'm placing his mines are basically just slightly outside of objective or right inside objective, like where you would put barbed wire. That's basically to slow down a push and let me know which direction they're pushing from. As far as his guns, I really like his SMG. His shotgun is strong. I'm just not nearly as good with it as I hoped I would be. It takes a little bit of finagling, and also the reload is weird. It's a 6-shot, and it has that cartridge that takes out. It takes a little getting used to. I really like his SMG. I've been doing pretty good with it. His pistol, most people were saying that it was just a standard 9mm, you know, it didn't do a lot of damage and all this stuff. I don't think I got anything here, but from what I've tested so far, I really like the 9mm that they have. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a solid pistol. It might be one of my favorites in the game. I put it on par, at least fire rate. I don't know about damage, but as far as fire rate, I'd put it on par with the PMM, which is really nice, and it's got 14 rounds, which is great. I really like Legion just for his combination of abilities. You know, his trap can do damage. His SMG puts out a ton of damage as it is. He can roam, he can anchor. You know, he's that 2 speed, 2 armor, so he's not just he's not set to one set thing. He does a multitude of roles, and that's why I really enjoy him. Right here, we're going to be getting into Ying. Ying has the T95 LSW LMG. I think, if I remember correctly, the real-life variant is also an assault rifle, but this is just the LMG variant with the swapped-out parts. This LMG feels a lot like an assault rifle. There's not a lot of recoil. It's a high rate of fire compared to other ones. You know, the sight preferences, you know, you can put an ACOG on this one. I have a really big feeling that her LMG is going to get nerfed at one point. It's either going to have less bullets in the magazine, a higher rate of fire, or a higher recoil pattern. I just feel like it's probably not going to stay in the way it is forever, so use it while you can. It is a really fantastic primary. It does, like I said, it does a lot of damage. And it's able to actually, you'll see here, even though it's reinforced, it tears through walls quite a bit, and it's very impressive. As far as her gadget goes, it is basically a cluster mine of flashbangs, It's very, very similar to Fuse. In fact, you can use it on Windows just like Fuse, except it's flashbangs. So you're gonna have to change up your strategy a little bit if you're a Fuse main and want to switch over to Ying. But it's not really that big of a change. Basically, you can place them on reinforced. You can place them on walls. You can place them on non-reinforced walls. You can place them on windows, and you can also roll them, which is something that Fuse can't do. You can roll them in drone holes. You can roll them under doors. You can roll them in a window if you put a spot in for it. And then it releases, I believe it's 6 flashbangs. She is immune to those, so if you are peeking inside a room and those flashbangs go off, they will not affect you. You'll notice a little bit of light change, but not much. Actually, right here you can tell I accidentally destroyed it before too many of them got off. I did not know that you could do that, so if you're going to be putting them on a window and want to break a spot, put them lower, and you'll see that here in just a second. But I really like her gadget. I like what she brings to the table as far as the attacking team. She can effectively blind an entire room. So if you coordinate pushes with your teammates, you really can push a room very, very quickly. But I would do that after you get rid of all the goo mines and the Ela's concussion mines sitting around. She has the same pistol as Lesion, which, like I said, is very, very strong. I feel that Ying is probably going to be a Pro League choice. I feel that same way with Lesion, and I don't feel that so much with Ela, and I'll explain why once we get to her. But as far as Ying, I think that she's a very, very strong operator and going to bring a lot to the table. I don't know if she'll replace Fuse. I honestly can't say that she's going to replace Fuse. Her meta is just slightly different. It's ever so slightly different, but it changes in just the right way that I think she plays a completely different role. And this is actually the updated cafe. When you're playing in game, you hardly even notice. I can definitely say that you're not going to notice it too much when you're in game. If you were just walking around in a custom game, you probably would.
A plywood barricade.
But yeah, her gun does a lot of damage to walls, and I really, really like what Ying brings to the table. It's very good.
He's right behind the yeah.
This guy couldn't hear us, so he doesn't know that she's down. He still thinks she's up, so.
She's down, she's down.
This is a pretty funny moment.
He doesn't know.
So, we're going to get into Ela here in just a second. And I really like Ela. I'm not trying to say that she's weak or anything, or trying to say that she's like the least powerful operator of all of them. It all depends on your play style. I'm sort of a lurker, so I stay just outside of objective or maybe just above objective in some situations, but I don't play like directly on objective. I'm also not a roamer. I don't peek outside very often. I don't go cross map and try to flank the enemy at the last possible minute. So Legion's more my playstyle. The reason why I think Legion would be more of a Pro League choice than Ela is because it really comes down to Legion can do damage and Ela can't. Ela has a very, very strong kit. Her Scorpion Evo has 51 mags, which is the largest of any SMG, I believe. I think by a long shot. I think by 20 clips, because I don't think there's an SMG besides Jackals, but that's on attack. But yes, it is a very, very strong choice. I really, really like Ela's gun. I like her pistol. Pistol's fantastic. But her gadget doesn't do damage. It plays basically the same role that Capcan does, but it doesn't kill anybody. It plays the same role that Legion does, but it doesn't hurt anybody. And it plays it plays the same role as maybe possibly a Valkyrie camera even, but you can't actually see where the enemy is at. So I think her gadget's a little weak, honestly. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, and I think if you're a strong roamer, this will be a very, very good gadget for you. But as far as playing the objective, like I do, and trying to secure the objective, or hold down the objective just outside of it, it really doesn't play well for me. You know, I can't.
Ash
I'm
in
really
the
not an
corner over
authority
here.
to
Ah,
say
crap, she
whether
moved.
it's going to be a pro league choice or not. But I don't think that Ela brings as much to the table as far as a useful gadget. Not to say she's weak by any means. Is still very powerful operator.
She's got to go out at some point.
But there are my first impressions of the new operators.
She went
I want to
that
thank you
bug way
guys
over
for
there.
watching, and let
There
me
you
know what
go.
you guys think in the comments below. Consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be putting out a lot more content like this. My next video will be on Pulse. So I will catch you all in the next video.